Thursday, the 10th of June 2014. Calling Richard Irwin, the legal team manager at Bradford Magistrates Courts on 01274 390 111.
Good afternoon, Bradford Magistrates Court. Can I help you?
Hello, can I speak to Mr. Richard Irwin, the legal team manager, please?
Who's speaking?
It's sent. I think you sent me a letter on the 4th of June last.
About what, sir?
Sorry.
About what?
Well, it's regarding requests for information. A copy of the information relating to a Bradford Council tax summons.
Right.
And,
well, we don't actually maintain information.
So is
about
this Mr. Richard Irwin, the legal team manager?
Yes.
Right.
No, you're not speaking to him at the moment, but we don't maintain.
No, I realise that, but he sent a letter and I'm wanting to speak to him.
He sent one to you. Well,
yes.
We'll give him a try, sir. Hello, Richard.
Hello, Richard. It's you sent a letter to me last Wednesday on the 4th.
That's right. Yes. How are you doing?
Yes, I'm okay, thank you. It's just to catch up on the letter that you sent to me. I sent you a reply email on the very same day.
I've sent a reply, yes.
That's fantastic.
Have you got my second letter or not?
No, that's what I was chasing up on you today.
Oh, it's written and gone to you.
That's
basically I've mentioned. I don't know where I've got it here now. You wanted to know who wrote the complaint.
Yes.
Made a comment, and I've given you a name, Suzanne Henderson, from memory.
Right.
Is the solicitor for the council of Bradford, and it's her name that goes on the complaint.
Right. Okay. And is the copy of the liability order being sent as well?
Yeah, we never get a copy of that, and I've said if they're going to be executing a liability order, give you a copy of that.
Right. You see.
If you ask them for it, I don't know whether you have them.
Yeah, well, I have done. I sent Bradford Council a request for the information and for the liability order, and I sent it on the same day that I sent the original request to the courts, and as of yet they've not even done a single response to my emails. Now, I've received 3 auto response confirmations that indeed the emails have been sent, and it well exceeds even their own response time of 5 days and 20 days, depending on the seriousness and complication. You know how complicated the matter is. Sometimes it may take more time to get to it, but
presumably they've got a customer supporter that you can complain to if you're not.
Well, as it currently stands, I'm going to be sending another response out if I've not received the order, because and I'm going to give 14 days notice, because the true liability order, in accordance with lawful procedure, I'm going to deem it to be wholly without merit. You see, the 2 interested parties, Bradford Magistrates Court and Bradford City Council, will just be deemed in error in this matter. If a liability order can't be produced, if court procedure is not being adhered to in the matter, the only resolution in law can be that another hearing is scheduled for the case. All courts are courts of record, and if no record can be produced, then there can be no lawful court or council authority in the public matter, and therefore I can only...
Well, the court, when dealing with the application, has done what it has done properly. So that's from our standpoint.
Well,
there was a proper complaint on us.
If
proceedings were issued.
Well, if a claim's been done properly, there would be information relating to the issuing of the summons, and although I may have a name for the complaint, there's still the issue around the actual liability order itself, and if it can't be produced on paper. You see, legal determinations can only be made manifest on paper. If it doesn't exist, it doesn't exist. So even if there was a claim by this person that you've mentioned, it still doesn't resolve the matter around the actual liability order itself. If a liability order can't be produced, then how can it exist?
Well, the court issued one. I mean, there's a record of it being issued, but there was no actual document produced by the court.
Then it doesn't exist. Then it doesn't exist. No, if it can't be, I have no problem with the liability order if it's lawful. If I owe money, I owe money. That's not a problem. The problem is that Bradford Council can't claim as a liability order if they can't produce the liability order on paper. That's it. Because it's my understanding that the court is a court of record. If somebody's made a claim, that's fine. I mean,
Magistrates' court aren't a court of record.
They're not?
No, not magistrates' court. We're not a court of record. No.
Well then,
higher courts are, but the magistrates' courts aren't.
A court is a court, is it not? I mean, you can't like it's my understanding that if you've got a claim to a court and they don't have the claim, how is the liability order itself even produced in the first place? This is what I don't understand. How can, if there's no record of anything, how can anything exist?
Well, there was a complaint made, summons issued to your good self, a court hearing, and a court order.
Well, I went down.
Simple forms, yeah.
Well, I went down to the court and on the day, and the judge threw me out. He just wouldn't hear any of it. The problem I've got is that the address that you're replying to is a care of address. It's not even my residential address. So if a judge has issued a liability order for the amount owed to myself at this address, and we get bailiffs for this, to the current address, well, they're going to be enforcing bailiff action on somebody else's home, for one thing. And I already I came down into the courts and spoke to a council clerk regarding the matter before I went into the courtroom. The judge didn't want to hear a damn thing I had to say. He threw me straight out of the courtroom.
There'd be more than one magistrate, wouldn't there? Presumably.
Yeah, there were three on the bench, and not one of them would speak to me. I mean, they wouldn't even tell me who the judge was. I mean, just because there's a man stood behind the bench doesn't make him the judge. I mean, the whole thing just smelled from day dot. I mean, I went down to the courts. There was no information regarding the claim itself. There's only an alleged existence of a liability order, which you've said that there was one indeed issued. But I mean, that's hearsay. Unless somebody can prove to me that a liability order exists, a dated and stamped liability order. Who was the name of the magistrate or the JP who signed it?
I honestly do not know.
You see, there you go. If you can't even tell me which magistrate or JOP signed the liability order, it doesn't exist.
Right.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a claim into the courts and give 14 days notice for the liability order, the dated and stamped liability order. If it can't be produced within 14 days, I'm going to issue an order back into the court that basically deems the liability order in error.
Okay.
So what I'll do is I'll wait for your reply first if you've already sent it, and then...
It has been sent, yes. It has been sent. It's not sort of hanging on my desk or in my computer. It has physically left the office. That's
brilliant. What I'll do then, Richard, is I'll wait for your reply letter, and then I'll issue a notice back into the court. Once the liability order is deemed to be in error, currently, at the moment, I'd say it's in error now, but I want to do it officially by sending a letter back into the courts and give them the 14 days notice. If it's not produced after 14 days, what I'll do is I'll call you back just to get it, just to get that down on the record, really. So unless there's anything else, I don't think that's. I think that's all for now.
Well, keep pressing on the council. If you have to make a complaint to them, make a complaint with regard to the actual order itself, because they're the ones that have drawn it up. The court issued it. They drew up the paper document.
Yeah, of course, and that's exactly what. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm confused about. If the courts have issued, because the Bradford Council themselves do not have the authority to do so. They're the ones who made the claim. How could they have produced the order?
The court granted the order, and that's the important part, the actual decision. They were satisfied that there was a liability order, and they made the order in your case and quite a number of other cases as well.
No, I realise that. In fact, we've just received a summons, my partner, for the actual address. He's actually, the care of address that I'm using, she's resident to it. And she's just received a summons, which started off at £20-something, and now it's gone up to £261.59. Well, I'm sorry, but I don't care what anyone says. That's bullshit. So, and I'll simply do the same with that again. It's just not going to happen. And there is no liability order. There never was, and there never is. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come down to the courts, because I've got another summons here, which is due. The hearing date's the 25th of June. So I'm going to this time.
You're entitled when you come to speak to the court, rather than be fobbed off by anyone. Say, come in and you want to address the magistrates.
Yes. Would I request to speak to a clerk if I come into the courts regarding the claim?
Yes.
If I speak, it won't be a council tax clerk. It would be a court clerk I want to speak to. Perhaps maybe if I contact the Deputy Justice's clerk.
Well, the court clerk on the day is the one that the male or the female who sits on the desk in front of the court, sort of noting what's going on in the proceedings.
Right.
And may not have an opportunity to come out to speak to you unless the magistrates retire.
What if if I went down to the courts before the hearing date? Either probably if I go down first thing tomorrow morning and speak to a clerk then to request the information that relates to the actual summons itself. If that information, if that information doesn't exist, then the summons itself will also be deemed to be in error. So that's what I want to do in advance this time, because I don't think these liability orders should be written if a copy can't be sent to the alleged defendant.
Everything's dealt with on this. We're trying to get electronic notification of applications. So
but even if it exists in electronic form, it's still printable, and a judge should be able to sign it. So I just don't see that as an excuse. I can see why there's maybe no trace on the day, but once the order's been issued, if it's requested, even if it exists on computer, it should be printable, and then they should be able to sign it and send it out. Either way, whether it's on computer or not, legal determinations can only be made regarding the matter if it exists on paper. And I don't understand why I have to be telling the courts. This is the ancient time tradition.
And you've got a copy of the summons.
Got a copy of the summons, but again that's sent by Bradford Council. Why have they got the authority to issue their own summons? Because it's my understanding that the Bradford Council issue. Sorry, it's my understanding that the Bradford Council issue their own summons. They make an application to the courts via the electronic computer system, and the courts authorise it. And then Bradford Council are issuing their own summons. So there's some sort of deal going on.
It's not uncommon. The police do the same. They do their charge sheets. They do summonses, but they prepare the documentation. Same with many of the prosecuting authorities. They prepare the paperwork, and it's just signed or authorised by the court. It's not a situation that the court has masses of staff to draft and draw up these documents anymore. That might be happening in the past, but it no longer happens. It's done by the prosecuting authorities.
It's not right. If a paper trail is not being produced, then it's not being done at all, and they can make all the claims. And I could claim that Bradford Council owe me money, and then say that it's on my computer system that they owe me it. Would that justify a judge to sign a liability order to Bradford Council to say that they owe me money? Of course it's not. That's not how it works. But they're doing it.
It's under legislation that they seeking money from you. It's council tax, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're due to pay the council tax, as indeed I am, and many other people are. And
no problem with that. No problem with that. I simply want the liability order. I've no problem with that at all. No dispute with it. And that's what I was in a position of trying to say to the judge in the courtroom, but I don't think he wanted to hear it, because as far as I was concerned, I was speaking to any other man. I know that the bench, they put it a few metres above sea level, so that it, you walk into there and it's like walking into the bloody Great Pyramid and you're standing before the Pharaoh. As far as I'm concerned, he's just a man, and I wanted to see his oath. I'm walking into a courtroom, I'm expecting to speak to a judge. The judge is there. Can I see your oath, please? Judge, or magistrate, or justice of the peace. And none of them want to hear it. There's been no lawful procedure. There's no lawful court procedure being adhered to here. There's no due process. So it's wrong. And if that's the way it's going to continue to go, then all that's going to happen is that when people wake up to the fact that there's no liability orders down on paper and they don't exist, what's going to happen to the council tax system then? What's going to happen to the payment and enforcement system? Isn't it all going to collapse? Because when I issue an order back into the courts and give 14 days notice to produce an alleged liability order, and it's not produced, then it's deemed in error. The courts and the council will both be deemed in error. If that's the case, then I want a judge to release a new order to that effect. So I'm going to issue an order back in, and I want a judge to release the order to say that indeed the courts and Bradford Council have been deemed to be in error in this matter. Would that be something that could be done for me?
So was that a question?
Yeah, please. Yeah. Would that be something that will be done by a judge?
Well, any appeal. The court proceedings here have been made and finished with. If you wish to appeal against those proceedings, then it's your entitlement and right to do so. Right,
okay. Well, I'll wait for your letter that you sent out. I'll wait for it to get in the post, and then I'll issue with 14 days notice for the liability order. If one can't be produced, I'll state it in the letter or the email. I'll deem it that Bradford Magistrates Courts and Bradford Council have been deemed to be in error in this matter. And I'll make that in the letter and send it back to you as soon as possible. I'll wait for your reply first.
Okay. Thank you very much indeed.
Yeah. Thanks for your time, Richard.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.